Hey, folks, welcome to the studio above the clouds with Serendipity Sellers. I'm up here in the studio above the clouds for Curious Mondays, ready for Curious Mondays. That's 2 to 6 today. That's whenever the studio is open. So if you have inquiries, if you want to visit, if you just want to kind of show up and look around, Mondays from 2 to 6, starting this Monday, is your day. And this, of course, is Making Mondays live from the studio above the clouds, where we're going to just jump in and a lot like the Friday sessions that I do as well at 11 a.m. We're going to dive in and I'm going to do some work up here, some creative work. I'll show you what I'm just putting some kind of final touches on right here. Hopefully we'll get it pretty close to done. And then I'll probably jump on something else today. I am doing drawing and painting today. I got the kiln loaded early this morning. And so it is firing right now. Woohoo. And it'll have some of the mini monsters and some of the items that students have made. So some of the student materials, the bowls are in there right now. Woohoo. And then some of the stuff that we're going to use for the Halloween event, for the Halloween party, is down in there as well. So I'm doing that right now. But it does mean I'm going to be working more on painting, which you can already see I started because I've already been smearing paint with my finger. So we'll get you situated down here and just dive in. And where I am, you'll see me motioning with this Sharpie is kind of completing, which means filling in some of the lines, just making sure things look really good. The Two of Pentacles tarot card painting that I've been working on that has Lyra as from the Storykeeper's Daughter as the Two of Pentacles. So let me get you situated, pointed down here, and then I'm just going to dive in and get started. So there we go. There she is. There she blows, as they say. So we'll get you situated. There we go. So you're not looking at my feet quite as much. And so what I was doing before you guys joined me was just using a Sharpie marker, my favorite thing, and putting some additional lines on her hair just for visual appeal, pop, however you want to put that. Okay, join that. All right. The dogs are up here with me. You might have seen them in the background whenever I was talking before. And I just tell you that because, of course, barking could happen at any given moment. There could be barking. I think they're dogs and cats up here, actually. So there you go. There really could be barking. They really love to hate each other. All right, that one. I could use a green, but I need like a deep dark green, not a light green, not a highlighty, but like deep dark. Let's see what I got over here real quick. All right. Whoa, let's not take off everything on the shelf. That would not be good. Not good. And let me bring these over with me. Do 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 do. All right, here we go. Just a little extra oomph here. Oh, I like that. Just a little extra. It's one of the things I did say was that on these Mondays, I kind of intended to have some sort of a topic to riff on a bit, knowing that I'll probably lose track and end up in the work. But one of the things that we've just been talking about a lot recently is this whole idea of why we're afraid to fail. I think that's kind of what we chalk it up to, is why we're afraid to fail. But really it's so much more than, I think, fear of failure. Because I don't know that we are, I mean, I know we are innately not fond of failure because it could have catastrophic survival ramifications. But in general, I think if you're dealing with small kids, until they're taught that failing is bad, it just hasn't been my experience that kids worry much about failing. They just try stuff, you know? They just are curious and they try stuff. And if it doesn't work, okay, that's a lesson learned, and we move on, and then we try more stuff, and then we try other stuff. Um, and little kids, again, until they are taught, and we teach pretty quickly to fear failure and to look at it as a indication of, like, we're never going to learn this thing. Or sometimes we even get so into it that we look at it as like a moral issue, like you actually are problematic if you fail, or if you don't succeed at what you try. But I think we really are taught by shame and negative peer pressure and the commodification of life. Let's be honest, the fact that everything's got to be a product, and it's got to be, how can I use this someday to make money? Um, and failure isn't looking for that. Failure is more of a just what is, what could be, what might. It's all part of experimentation. Um, and anyway, I guess my point being is that I feel like that we are very much taught from the public school system. I was a public school teacher, so I feel like I can say that. Um, some elements of the public school system, because goodness knows there are some amazing teachers out there that are really truly life changing. Um, but many elements of the public education system, in the way it's so obsessed with evaluation and sameness and being able to put folks into a box, and there's a right answer and a wrong answer. And if there's not a right answer and a wrong answer, do we even talk about that? That's not even a school thing. Maybe that's a home thing. Only then kids don't get that at home either. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. Um, but I think we're just taught that failure is somehow shameful. And unfortunately, what that also means is that we just stop trying. And it also breeds, I think, some apathy because if the only way to fail is to try, then if you want to be the cool kid, you just stop trying because then that means you can never fail, right? So if you want to be totally cool, you just stop trying, stop caring, stop any of that stuff because that makes you edgy, I guess, and cool. And really, all it does is protect you. I mean, that's what those kind of things are doing. That's why, anybody who bullies the weird kid, for instance, now I'm just going off on a tangent. Um, Anybody who needs to bully somebody else for being different is usually because they've got some serious issues themselves, right? And we know that they've got some serious, serious self worth problems. They've got, I can't feel good about myself unless somebody else feels bad kind of things happening. Um, and I think we have to remind ourselves sometimes of that also, because it's really easy to get kind of beaten down. But usually the people doing most of the beating down are, and they're pretty miserable. So don't let them get to you. But anyway, I also think all of that, my little tangent there, that's just part of parcel of how we're kind of taught to fear failure. Um, and therefore, in a lot of cases, just stop trying. Because again, if we don't try, if we don't care, if it's all apathy all the time, that's just us protecting ourselves. Whereas I think being open to being creative is also being very open to things just going horribly sometimes. Things not going the way you wanted them to necessarily. Um, because practice isn't always pretty. And then we get into, sometimes I get upset with people because I know there was the big thing about perfect practice. I know that was a thing going around for a while, was how everybody wanted to talk about how it's not just about practice, you have to practice the right way. And it was like the 12-point plan for how you practice. And I get that. I do. I totally get what people are going for there. I think um technique, not half-assing practice, but sometimes you're going to half-ass practice because you don't feel like it. And frankly, you're better off, in my experience anyway, going in and doing it anyway, even if it's going to be a little bit half-ass and not quite what you were after, because you still get some of that muscle memory, whether the muscle memory is real muscle memory or me being a little bit more metaphorical with that. But you're still getting some of those benefits, and you're not, my fear was always whenever that started to be the thing that people were talking about like, well, it also has to be good practice. It can't just be practice. Don't just show up. You got to show up tough. You got to show up in this shape. Um, My only fear with stuff like that, and because I know it did for me, is that it just discourages some people who aren't in that a really necessarily that perfect place to, again, I'm just not even, I'm not going to try because I'm not going to be good at it. I'm not going to do perfect practice. I'm not going to um have the results that these people, whoever these people are telling me that I should have from my practice session. And so, you know what? Forget it. I forget it. I'm no good. I suck. I've got no determination. I've got no focus. You know what? Just forget it. I'm just going to not do it. I'm going to quit. And that's always my fear, is that it's so easy for somebody who's new in particular to hear something like that and be like, all right, well, forget it. I'm just never gonna be good enough, and I'm not even gonna try, because that whole idea of perfect practice just doesn't work for me. Um, and try anyway. Just try. Ooh, there is a vehicle pulling away. Unbelievably, the dogs do not. I don't know why they didn't hear it, but they don't seem to have a clue that it's out there. Let me tell you, there could be some serious barking going on. But no, somehow I heard it and they did not. All right, so we are about to the point where I need to do the little sign for this. Because this does have a little which card it is, and then a quick little overview of what that card means. I do actually have, I, over the weekend, took two of the cards that I've already painted, the Death card and the Star card, and took really good pictures of them. Learned how to do that with my phone because I did not know how to take really, really high quality pictures with my phone, which I learned how. And hung them on the wall and got nice and level with them, and made sure the lighting was coming from good angles and that there were the appropriate number of sources of lighting, blah, 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 all the fun stuff. And I got some good pictures of them and have some actual cards on the way, because you can take those and then work with a third party provider and have those turned into actual like tarot card size cards. So I have those coming, so I can offer those individually at my my booths at my tents. So that's kind of cool. I thought that's kind of neat. Oh, the number of sharpies here. So many sharpies. I need I want a deep dark red for this. Can't tell me I don't. Oh, wait a second. I do have that. Where is it? Where is that? There was one, because I got some nice Sharpies that are metallic These are just the gold and silver and bronze, but I got the colored metallic too with the blue and the green and the red. And the red one might actually work for what I want to do here. It's more of like pink, like a fuchsia. Fuchsia. None of these. There's lots of light pinks, but I need something deep and dark. I'm missing. Oh, wait, there we go. There's metallics. Come here. Come here. Get over here. All right, so these are just ones I randomly grabbed that I'm probably not going to use. Let's see here. See, that's the metallic one, but it's awfully pink. I don't know if that's going to work. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, no, it's not going to work. That is not going. Well, let's see. As long as I don't mind that I have permanent marker on my finger, we're good. That's not too bad. Don't want to press down too hard. I would love to hear from you about why you think we are so, again, I'm jumping back to the topic at hand is why do we fear failure? And I really think it's because we've been taught to. And so now for us it means failure and it means I'm not good enough and it means that maybe something punitive is going to happen. And it means embarrassment. I mean, that might be, heck, that could be the most important thing for us. It means potential embarrassment. And, I do think that, if I think of some things that have been going on recently with people who may or may not have made mistakes in their past, but are absolutely, like, I think there's a real temptation, particularly if we do this tribalist kind of thing where there's sides, there's always sides. And if somebody is on a different side, all of a sudden they're perceived, whether it's true or not, failure is like fair game for us to attack their worth, like whether they even deserve to be alive. Like we turn it into such bullies about the whole thing. But it really does get to be like, you don't even deserve to live because you made this mistake 20 years ago. But if you were on the right side of things, I wouldn't actually care. And so it's also super disingenuous. And so we see that as well. Um, and that's unfortunate because, again, all of that, what that does is, it's horrible for us psychologically. But even that aside, like, let's just look at it purely from I'm running a business. Um, perspective. Like, there's no studies, there's nothing that shows whenever things are punitive and my way or the highway, and where people fear change and fear, ooh, I kicked that, fear mistakes. Um, that's also a workplace where not as much work gets done, where money is lost, where productivity is lost. So, I mean, even if we're talking about this purely not from a, hey, give a crap about people perspective, which is my perspective, give a crap about people. If you're going at it from a purely numbers perspective and like wanting to make the money and have a good business and whatever like that, don't look now. But being cool to people and giving them room for research and development and to fail and to have open conversations and to experiment and stay curious. All of that stuff is good for the bottom line too. So, like, the idea that we don't do it just blows my mind, because it's even better for your business, whatever that business might be, to just be cool like a little Fonzie. So yeah, so anyway, that's, I will never understand why we don't give choice and we don't give options and we don't truly, not lip service, but truly encourage experimentation and failure. Of course, jump on this bandwagon with me. Why we don't just provide flexibility as a matter of course. Why, you know, jobs started returning to the office that had been work from home and been able to allow that kind of accommodation for employees who might struggle with being in the office, and all of a sudden they started pushing to go back to the office all of a sudden. um all of that to me is just weird. That's just weird because all of it comes across as, we hired you, we don't trust you to be professional, and we want to control you. And that's how it all reads to me. Um, that's how it all reads to me. Like, if you can't hire your own, if you can't trust your employees without some sort of spy bot or spyware on their computers, you need to hire better people. You know, like that's still your fault. You hired these people, and maybe it's not even about that. Maybe it's that they don't even really know what they're supposed to be doing. Maybe it's that they, those goals and objectives aren't clear. Maybe it's that they're not really measurable. They're just kind of vague, and they're just showing up and being in a place and realizing that none of their bosses actually know what they do and couldn't describe it to them. Go look at your job description. Hmm. Happy workplaces are better workplaces. Places where people feel like they can take risks without punishment are just, they're more effective. They're more efficient as well at getting work done. All right, Chickaboom, you look pretty good. That was a quick change. I need to get, so you can see there's some red on her forehead. That's just powder. Now that everything's dry, what I want to do is take a big brush and take it over this whole painting to get off any loose mica powder. And then we're gonna take it to the next stage. And I'm gonna put the little signs on it so you can see how that was done. And dagnabbit, where's I don't know where the big all those sound effects are because I don't know where the big brush is that I'm looking for. I didn't see it. I have one particular brush that I use for this. One brush. One brush to rule them all. One brush to find them. This is not the one brush, by the way. This is not the one brush. But you can imagine you have to wait until it is nice and dry to do this. Okay, so this is, and I do think I still need a little rubby. You notice that was, I just got water on this. There we go. And I'm just wiping away some places where there's still mica powder. Ever heard of brushing or wiping down your painting with water? It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Okay, that was all I needed. So now we make it a signs. We make it a signs. I call it the signs. Okay, so this one is, I need to look at my phone here in a minute to see what it was that we're supposed to say on this card because I emailed all that crap to myself. That's my one of the secrets to my success is have a thought, email it to yourself, and maybe email it to multiple email accounts. So that is a definite thing that I do. So we know this is Two of Pentacles. I'm firing up my computer here really quickly so that I can see what it was I was supposed to write on the Two of Pentacles. All right. I would really like it if my computer would wake the heck up. Wake the heck up. So that there we go. Thank you very much. There we go. So here's how we do this. You can probably tell from the pictures what the labels are made out of. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you can't. Here, let me show you another one here. This is the King of Cups. So this is Grom that I finished yesterday. The King of Cups. Feel deeply, remain steady. That's why Grom was such a good representative of it. But that's the King of Cups. Means you feel deeply, remain steady. But that's plastic wrap. I use plastic wrap because I want it to be see-through, but I didn't want the lettering to be on here. Feel deeply, remain steady. So yeah, that's just saran wrap or saran style wrap. It's not saran wrap. It's whatever the Costco brand is. And it's the same thing that I used on, like, for instance, I have all these down because I was just taking pictures. There's really nice pictures of them. But the death card, you see, I can give a little bit of background. That's all that dies is reborn. But yeah, it's just plastic wrap. So I'm going to snag some plastic wrap, which I have right here, of course, because I do pottery. And we love plastic wrap for pottery. So let us All right, so this one's all about, whoa, I just got attacked by a cat. Flexibility. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's pull some plastic wrap and cut it. You get to watch the hilarity that is me doing this. I have to assume it probably looks kind of weird. Okay, so there's that one. That there. I don't want it to cover her whole face. Where's my scissors? Scissors. Oh, and of course, I just looked up and I saw that damn brush I was looking for. Of course. Right there. Right there. So yesterday, speaking of failure, hard fail yesterday. Hard fail. Wow, what an example. Didn't even think about this before. I was trying to set up the serger. I have a serger that I inherited from my aunt, and it's, since it's been here in my house, it's never really been put together. It's been just sitting there together, I guess, really, but it hasn't been used in any way. It's certainly never been on. It even needed to be rethreaded, and that's where the hilarity comes in, was I went through quite a process to figure out how to rethread it, because sergers ain't no joke. No joke. And this is a pro serger from like 1983. Seriously, 1983. So even finding a book for it was a good time. And then actually, like, getting through it, figuring out how to run all of the different threads through. So all of that stuff. It was a process. It took a long freaking time, longer than I would probably like to admit. And then I got it, and I was like, okay, here we go. We're gonna run this. I'm running the first one. I put this little piece of fabric down, and I start it, and immediately the needle breaks, because the needle was really old too. In fact, there's a really good chance that the needle broke not because like it hit anything. In fact, I don't think it did hit anything, and I checked that. It was just really old and had just been sitting around. And so so the needle broke immediately. And of course, the one thing I don't appear to have is any more serger needles. So I had to order some. And then even figuring out the ones to order became a process, because they're different than the ones that usually come up when you search for serger or anything like that. It was a different. So that was a hard fail yesterday. Like, did not get done what I wanted to, but learned a crap ton of stuff about that serger. Holy crap. It was really cool. Like stuff I had no idea of. Okay, so this is 2. Of cups. Yeah, that should work just fine. 2 of cups should fit right there. And then, I mean, 2 of pentacles. God. Oh, pentacles. Pentacles is a longer word. 2 of pentacles. Okay, we'll give that a shot here and see. Pentacles is a bigger word. Okay. Okay. And this one can go. That, and then maybe another one down underneath it. I'm thinking. And this one's going to say adapt. The world keeps moving, because this is all about multitasking, balancing, all of that stuff. So let's do this bluish. I think there, and then I think that's how we're going to do it. Let's find out. Pardon me. Okay, and then I need one more little guy down here for my plastic food wrap. Plastic. And it will go here. She can go. Oh, stop it. Really? 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Failure. It's a lot that needs to go in this little one right here. So this will be fun. Let's see what we can do here. Uh-oh. Is it going to work? Let's find out. Here we go. Oh, man. That is so freaking close. I think I can work with that. Okay. You suck. You suck, you suck, you suck. Actually, you are the one that really sucked. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? There we go. And let's pull down another. Oh, Phoenix, kitty cat, you're looking at me. And I'm going to need where you are right now, which means I'm going to have to evict a cat. Evict a cat. Ah, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right, there we go. That was not cool. Ta-da! Now, they paint it. What do we do that with? We paint it with the Gloss Luster Mod Podge. Surprise, surprise. No surprise, because I use that on, like, everything. So let's pull up. This is fine. I'm just going to use this. It's messy, but it's okay. And then what I'm gonna do here is I've got our Maji Podgy. Maji Podgy. I'm looking at you still, Phoenix cat, because I'm gonna have to evict you here in a second. I know that's not cool, but it's gonna have to happen. Okay, so now let's flip it. Flippity dippity. Flip it. And whoa, flip it. Okay, it has some fingerprints on it from me. That's not exactly lovely, but it's not the end of the world either. All right, and then we'll do a little bit of, so this is going to go, 2 goes up in the ocean. And so because of that, I'm going to put some blue on the back of it so it has that effect. And then some pearl blue as well. Oh, except it's empty. Okay. Oh, a little bit. That should actually, there we go. Try this at home, kids. That should be enough. So I'm looking at this cat, determining if I'm gonna evict or just move some other things so that I can do this without evicting said cat. I think I'm just gonna move some other things so I don't have to evict the cat. You win, not Pepper, Phoenix. Pepper is our late cat. Pepper was a good cat. All right, get the brush wet, clean-ish brush. Here we go. A lot of times I put stuff on the corners of this so it doesn't do what it's doing right now. And it's not a terrible idea to put stuff on the corners. Not terrible at all. I got this. There we go. That'll be enough. Stop it. Ah! Bastard. So now I'm going to bring her up here on the table. There we go. We'll go with that. All right. So that is down. Now let me move her out of the way again. We're going to do the same thing for these guys, only I don't know that I want blue. Maybe a little bit here, but then I'm pretty sure I want it to fade on into something else after that. And in fact, I'm thinking shimmer gold. Oh, crap. Yo. When in doubt, shimmer gold. Let me rinse this brush real quick. Hi, Phoenix. You won. This, of course, is the less sexy part of painting, the final, kind of like doing your administrative stuff in the studio. This feels a lot like that. Like, oh, putting the last signage on, but it's important. And it's messy. So messy. So messy. Give it to me. Give me all of it. Give me. You bastard. All right, well, that's fine. Put this aside. Let's. Oh, it got all foldy. That's nice. So the more messy these are, the better they usually turn out. Just tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. And I like these clear. If I had it, I would have used, instead of plastic wrap, really thin vellum or something like that, like a really thin paper. I just didn't have it at the moment that I was starting on these, but I did happen to have this giant roll of plastic wrap, and I was like, well, let me work with the giant roll of plastic wrap. because I wanted it clear. Because I wanted to, you put in the time to paint the thing behind all of this. You don't exactly want to just pop stuff in front of it and have it disappear. So I wanted it to be largely clear. And that is how I landed on plastic wrap. What's fun about this is since it's got that gold in it, it's just going to kind of give everything this glow. All right, now we just wait for that to all, I can some of this off my finger and onto here, because it'll be nice. There we go. We just wait for that to dry now, and then I might put a little bit more on it. A little bit more of the glue to hold down the wrap for giggles. But for the moment, that is pretty much where we are. Two of Pentacles, adapt. The world keeps moving. And then when it's dry, I'll make a decision about if there's any last things that need to get done to it. But that's our card. And I think it's probably time. Where are we? Oh, okay. It's been almost an hour. Goodness gracious. Okay. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to take some dogs out for a potty break, and then come back in here. Where did that red come from? Get off there. Get. There we go. Come back in here, and then possibly jump into some of the major arcana. But thank you for joining me today at the studio above the clouds. We actually finished something, which is kind of kick ass, really. And I'll see you on Friday at 11, and then Monday at 11 as well. And if you're in the neighborhood and you want to stop by today on Monday between 2 and 6 p.m., you are welcome at the studio above the clouds. Hope to see you here.